Hey YouTubers, just one here. It's been a while since I've done a video. Been concentrating on catching up with my art side of things since well, my pre-orders are coming through very slowly. I'm not too sure what the story is there in Hong Kong, but I assume it's the COVID-19 thing. Anyway, I actually just been studying a lot of these documentaries on the pagans and the past and the history of how things evolved, and I noticed in the documentaries that I've been watching how the Christian belief was pushed upon them, and I found it very interesting, to tell you the truth. And I think the Christian community is quite fascinating even to this day. So I just felt this urge to do an art piece, and I probably would be controversial in some ways, but it's in no way meant to be offensive in the Christian belief. But I did also like watch a lot of documentaries and stuff on the Lord Jesus Christ. I'm not religious in any way, but I do find Jesus Christ fascinating as a person, and I did. My nana was highly religious, and she was a Yugoslav lady. She's Serbian, and she had a lot of plaques on the wall of Jesus and Mary and all that sort of stuff. And I, as a kid growing up, I always thought they were fascinating as well, with the crosses and stuff like that. So I decided to go out there and do something completely crazy, like I am, because I am crazy, and do this piece. So please be open. Don't take it offensively. Be open. Just to me, it's just art. It's nothing but art. I like working with my hands and doing things and being creative. So I just want to bring this one across. Now it's Jesus Christ. I use that word a lot in my swearing, but yeah, this was a piece that I come up with. It's Jesus carrying the cross. I used materials that I like to use natural materials. So the banding around the wooden cross, I made the cross as well, of course, and the banding around the cross, fixing it to Jesus, is a Hessian rope. So that was materials I found around my workshop. A loincloth. Jesus is wearing a loincloth, not like the underwear type thing. I just did a loincloth with, and that's it. The fur, I added fur here to the head and the beard and mustache. I also seen a little vine, like a water vine coming from a rose bush, which is very thin but has plenty of thorns on it. So I decided to twine that into a ring and feed that onto his head. And that was one of the last things I did, because once you put it on, you can't really take it back off, because it'll rip the shit out of everything. So I've mounted that. That went on really well. And the wooden base, I have a nail attached, going in through the bottom of the cross to fix the cross, so it's stable on the figurine. It's a 1/6 scale. I like to do, I didn't do a lot of detail on the sculpt itself. I just sort of, that was my podium as such, to support the cross. The cross is not fixed. I can take it off at any time, and I will show you it off at one stage. And that's it, pretty much. I just thought it was I've always wanted to do Jesus Christ. I have no idea why. But I just find him a fascinating person, of part of history. So that's what I did. There is a bit of a catch, but to my my art piece, and I just like to be, like I said, you to be very open and not to take it offensively, because I just had to do it, and I enjoyed doing stuff like that. So the catch is it's a two-sided piece to Jesus. It's on the other side. I've done a somewhat demonic cross, or if you want to call it that, with a couple, or about three different demons ideas sculpted into the cross, with the goat's head and the snake and the wings. Certain demons. I will give you a close up of that, and also explain the markings also that were just paintbrush, very simple paintbrush markings I did to bring out this dark side of whatever you want to call it. If it suits you to say it's a demon, or if it suits you to say it's the dark side of whatever, the religion side of things, or what happened to Jesus, was the dark side of what happened to Jesus. Yeah, you know, say come up with your own ideas, and whatever your idea is, that's what it is, because I don't have a specific reason why I have done this way. I just felt the urge to do it. I do study a lot of cult and dark beliefs, I suppose you'd say, with also what's happened in the past and history. So yeah, if you want to fit it to that, go by all means do that. But to me, it's just something that I liked doing, demons as well, monsters if you will, and having a two-sided piece, I can display either side. So I will just do a quick close-up now and just explain some of the symbols on there, I suppose you'd say, and just the overall experience of using an airbrush, and I like doing a lot of airbrushes as much as I can, and working with fur, and also sculpting wood and playing with wood. I just love working with wood. So this is another piece to add to my, I've just done the Dark Wolf not long ago, which is a 1/3 scale. He's on the corner of my desk. I look at him every day. I love him so much. He's one of the characters I just adore. So this is another piece to add to my my art, and I enjoyed it. It took me 2 weekends. It was a real quick piece. I started it last weekend. Randomly, I was doing. I started to do the horse's head for a fighting theme of Conan the Barbarian, and this is one of the monsters I'm going to be making. It's a lava vamp. I call it a lava vamp. I'll explain that later on when I do my video for this. Be lots of these, about 10 or 15 of these characters, so that's going to be one of those bigger projects, which will take probably a couple of months, I reckon, working weekends. But I like to have a rest after I do an art piece, because I can't sleep when I start them, and that's not good for me, for my health. So I have a break, do some things around the house, and then I come back and start it again. And yeah, very excited to do the Conan the Barbarian, and that will also be 1/6 scale. So and a lot more detail put in it than I actually did with this this piece. So without further ado, I'm going to show you the Jesus side first, I suppose you'd say, with a close-up of the camera. And then I'll spin it around and show you the dark side of, the demon side of my sculpt, my art piece. Hope you enjoy my video. I have this cross set up the Jesus side. As you can see, you can partially see the Jesus with his with the thorned ring or whatever it's called around his head, with the thorns sticking out. Some wraps around his hand with the bloodied knuckles, I really enjoyed using the Hessian rope as an extra added feature, because it did assist in fixing the cross to the statue and stabilising it. I did a lot of burning and weathering to the cross as well, just to give it some sort of aged look. It was originally pine. Of course, the metal pin on the bottom here, I'm guessing would have been some sort of metal coming from the cross to fix it to the ground of some sort, or go into something else. I'm not too sure how they did it, but yeah, a metal pin, which is just simply a nail painted black. I've weathered the base as well to add that extra look to this very unusual statue. It's a 1/6 scale, like I said. It's got a the cloth is done with just cotton, and I've put some acrylic into the cloth to give it some more depth, I suppose, or thickness. So it's like a canvas now, because it's been coated with that enamel or acrylic. Yeah, weathered with blood markings throughout the body, wounds from carrying the cross, if you will. I have got some blood coming down his face as well. I'll just give you a bit of a close-up of that. So from a distance, you can't, at a certain angle, you cannot see the sinister side, as you, if you would call that. Purely a fun piece for me. Like I said, it was two weekends I smashed this out, probably equivalent of 8 hours, I reckon, roughly. That's the carving of the wood, making the cross, sourcing the materials, hair and painting and sculpting itself. So we'll just zip this around to the I'll give you a front on view of the separation of the two, you know, like from skin tone to death or decomposed, not living side. So that's why I didn't do, I did the red eyes. That's the only red on this side of the body, and I thought the white was a good feature to add to the demon itself. So there you have the then crossing over to the demon side. I'll give you a close up of the goat's head. More probably if you're going to say a demon, probably a Zul would be the one I would come up with. I find that one probably one of the most sinister demons. Go on the TV side here, because it's getting a bit of a. I'm hoping it's not going to blur out. Yeah, winged creature with breasts and some abdomen work and ribs. I do have a snake's head here, which I will unstrap it and show you some more detail. And a snake sort of wriggling from down the abdomen to the leg, where it spirals around the leg, and finishing at the bottom here. Yeah, the loincloth, weathered. It's quite thick. I did do some genital on him, so that's to make it more authentic to being a human in some way. These symbols, some of these symbols, that's one of them down here is Judas, Lucifer, I suppose, or Lucifer. This is like a witch symbol. What else? Oh yeah, this one here up the top here is Azul. That's a Azul symbol. Down here, Damien. That's Damien symbol. What else we got? Over here, Nero. That's a symbol of Nero. There's lots of other symbols that I've done, under the cloth and throughout the legs and 666 down here, mark of the devil. Cain, the symbol along here is Cain. So there's a series of markings of satanic markings, if you, yeah, devil worshipping, I suppose, throughout this demon to give it more of a sinister, dark look. So there you have it. I'm not going to keep on. What I'll do now is just quickly unstrap it, because I can do that pretty much with one hand, no biggie. So I'll just undo that. It just simply wraps around. See, as you can see, it doesn't move much, but it moves a little bit, and I prefer it more upright, and it's on an angle as it is. So, and then it all just comes straight out. There's the carvings. I've pretty much just finished painting it, so I've still got paint on my fingers. So yeah, there's the detail of the carving I've done with the claws on the hands, and he's got claws on the feet as well. So animal characteristics. Definitely not human in any way. And there's the goat's head with the ram-like horns. So that's the cross, and then his hair's all messed up now but there's some more blood and stuff like that, and you can see Jesus clearly on this side. So as I said, it was a fun project with a twist, I suppose you'd say, a twist, and I don't regret doing it. I've always wanted to do a Jesus Christ, just my style of Jesus Christ. So I hope you enjoyed my video. I hope I haven't offended anyone. I'm sure I'm going to get a couple of comments that of dislike maybe, but who knows. Okay, that's it for me. Test Yes One out. Catch ya.